You work 10 hours a day but still feel like you've achieved nothing? Maybe you've been working the wrong way. With just 9 hours a day, following the 3-3-3 rule, you can be more productive than 90% of people out there. And the best part, it doesn't require strict discipline, only a smart strategy. Stay until the end of this video, and I'll show you exactly how to divide those 9 hours to triple your productivity. In a world overflowing with distractions, notifications, and endless to-do lists, the idea of focusing 3 solid hours on your most important work may sound unrealistic. Yet this simple act is the cornerstone of the 3-3-3 productivity rule. Those 3 hours are not just about time. They represent your clearest mental space, your sharpest focus, and your most valuable energy of the day. When you dedicate that focused block to what truly matters, you set the foundation for meaningful achievement rather than just busy activity. It is the difference between progress and motion, between building something substantial and merely staying afloat. The first step is identifying what the most important work truly means. It's rarely the loudest task or the one that others push on you. Instead, it's the task that, if completed, would make the greatest impact on your goals. For some, it might be writing a strategic plan, coding a key feature, or preparing a presentation that defines their next opportunity. For others, it could be studying, designing, or solving a difficult problem. These 3 hours are your investment into deep, high-value work, the kind of effort that compounds over time. To protect these hours, you must treat them as sacred. That means shutting down distractions, turning off notifications, and most importantly, creating boundaries with others and yourself. Most people lose their most productive hours to shallow work. Emails, chats, meetings, and minor tasks that feel productive but don't move the needle. By carving out a 3-hour block dedicated to your most essential task, you reclaim control over your schedule and align your effort with your purpose. Ideally, this block should be placed at the time of day when your mind is most alert and creative, often the morning for most people, though it can vary. Another essential element of this rule is depth. Working deeply for 3 hours does not mean pushing yourself without breaks or burning out in the process. It means cultivating a flow state, a mental zone where focus and challenge intersect perfectly. To achieve it, prepare your environment. Clear your desk, set your tools, and define your outcome for the session. Instead of vague goals like work on project, define it precisely. Complete the outline. Draft the first section, or finalize the report. The clarity of your objective keeps your focus locked in, while the limited time window creates gentle pressure that fuels productivity. It's also important to understand that these 3 hours are not about perfection, but about progress. Many people stall in their work because they overthink and overanalyze. The 3-hour rule trains your brain to move forward consistently, even if what you produce isn't flawless at first. You'll have time later to refine, but this focused period is for creation and momentum. Over time, you'll find that your ability to concentrate strengthens. What once felt like a long stretch of time will start to feel natural, even short, as you experience the satisfaction of meaningful output. Finally, the long-term impact of this habit is transformative. Imagine 3 hours of focused, high-value work every day, 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month, more than 700 hours a year. That's nearly a full month of deep, uninterrupted creation time. Over the course of a career, this level of consistency separates the high achievers from the rest. While others scatter their attention across countless small tasks, you'll be building depth, mastery, and results that endure. The 3-hour block is not about working harder, it's about working deliberately, intentionally, and with purpose. Once you make it a daily ritual, it becomes your most powerful productivity advantage. Once the most important work of the day is completed, the next phase of the 3-3-3 rule focuses on spending 3 hours on secondary but necessary tasks. These are not the projects that define your long-term goals, but they are the gears that keep the entire machine running smoothly. They form the connective tissue between your major creative or strategic efforts and the operational reality of daily work. This part of the framework acknowledges that while deep work drives progress, maintenance and support work sustain it. Without consistent attention to these smaller responsibilities, even the most brilliant ideas can fall apart under the weight of neglect. These secondary tasks often include responding to emails, preparing reports, attending essential meetings, reviewing team updates, following up on client communications, or checking logistics. They may not demand your highest level of creativity or insight, but they require discipline and reliability. Many people underestimate their importance because they seem routine. Yet these small actions are what build trust, accountability, and momentum in any professional environment. The key is to manage them efficiently, giving them time but not allowing them to consume the entire day. This 3-hour block should be structured intentionally. Instead of letting these tasks spill over and interrupt your deep work, assign them a defined place in your schedule. For example, after your peak performance period, when your energy starts to decline slightly, transition into these secondary activities. It allows you to remain productive without demanding the same cognitive intensity. During this period, use tools and methods that streamline communication and task handling. Techniques like time batching, where you group similar tasks together, such as replying to all emails at once or handling all meetings consecutively, can drastically reduce mental switching costs and increase your efficiency. However, even within these less demanding tasks, it's vital to maintain a mindset of clarity and purpose. Ask yourself before starting each task, does this support my larger goal? This question prevents you from falling into the trap of pseudo-productivity, doing work that feels busy but accomplishes little. You can also apply the Pareto principle here. Identify the 20% of your secondary tasks that deliver 80% of the value and prioritize those. By doing this, you not only manage your time more effectively, but also protect your energy for the next stage of your day. Another benefit of allocating a fixed 3-hour window to secondary work is the psychological balance it provides. After the intensity of your deep focus session, switching to tasks that are more structured and social can serve as a form of mental recovery. It allows your creative mind to rest while your analytical or administrative side takes over. This alternation keeps your day dynamic and prevents burnout. It also strengthens your reputation as someone who not only delivers results, but also maintains consistency and communication, a combination that is highly valued in every field. Ultimately, the second 3 of the 3-3-3 rule is about harmony. It connects your big-picture ambitions with the everyday discipline needed to sustain them. By dedicating these 3 hours to managing the ongoing flow of work without letting it dominate your schedule, you achieve a crucial balance between visionary creation and practical execution. Over time, this consistency builds a rhythm of reliability that compounds into professional growth. You'll no longer feel overwhelmed by the small things because they'll have their rightful place in your day. And when you master this middle phase, you'll find yourself not only more organized, but also far more in control of your overall productivity system. The final 3 hours of the 3-3-3 productivity framework are dedicated to what many people overlook, the maintenance phase. This isn't about cleaning your desk or checking boxes. It's about nurturing the habits, routines, and mental balance that sustain long-term performance. These hours are the quiet backbone of your day, the time when you recharge, reflect, and reset your trajectory. Without them, productivity becomes a sprint rather than a marathon, and even the most focused worker eventually burns out. The 3-3-3 rule recognizes that peak performance doesn't come from constant motion, but from the deliberate rhythm of work, reflection, and renewal. During these final 3 hours, the goal shifts from output to upkeep. This can mean different things depending on your lifestyle and goals. For some, it might involve learning something new, reading, taking a course, or watching a tutorial that expands their professional skills. For others, it could be physical renewal, exercise, walking, meditation, or simply stepping outside to clear the mind. And for many, this block includes planning for the next day, reviewing what worked, and identifying what can be improved. By using this time intentionally, you close your day with structure and awareness rather than exhaustion and cluttered thoughts. The reason this phase is so powerful is that it turns productivity into a sustainable cycle. Most people push themselves relentlessly through their days, only to end up mentally drained and reactive. They start the next morning already behind with no sense of direction. In contrast, when you dedicate time to recovery and reflection, you create space for insight. You allow your subconscious to process ideas and connect dots that you may have missed in the intensity of your deep work. Many of the best solutions, innovations, and creative ideas appear during these maintenance hours when the mind is relaxed but alert. A key element of this stage is reviewing your day honestly. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish? What distracted me? What can I improve tomorrow? This self-assessment doesn't have to take long, but it has immense value. It builds self-awareness, which is the foundation of improvement. Writing a brief daily summary or journaling for even 10 minutes can reinforce learning from experience and strengthen your sense of control. When you track progress over weeks or months, you begin to see patterns, and with those patterns comes the power to make smarter adjustments. The third 3-hour block also reminds you that you're more than your output. A balanced life fuels consistent performance. Spending time on family, personal projects, hobbies, or simply rest contributes indirectly to your success by maintaining emotional stability and motivation. The 3-to-3-to-3 rule doesn't idolize productivity at the expense of humanity, it integrates both. By including time for maintenance, it acknowledges that sustainable excellence requires rest as much as effort. In the long run, these hours shape your mindset. You start viewing productivity not as a relentless grind, but as an art of balance. Each day becomes a complete cycle: creation, execution, renewal. Over weeks and months, this rhythm builds resilience, clarity, and a sense of peace with your work. You no longer chase constant activity for validation. Instead, you move with purpose, discipline, and calm focus, fully aware that the quality of your recovery directly determines the quality of your performance. The final 3 hours of the 3-to-3-3 rule are not just downtime, they are the invisible engine of your long-term success. The fourth part of the 3-3-3 productivity framework highlights its greatest strength: the ability to manage time effectively while preserving energy and focus. Many people fail, not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they fail to structure their time with intention. The 3-to-3-3 rule introduces clarity into the chaos of daily life. It separates your day into distinct zones of purpose: deep work, operational tasks, and recovery, allowing you to channel your energy toward what truly matters. Instead of reacting to the world's demands, you proactively design your day around results. At its core, this rule is a rejection of multitasking. Modern culture often glorifies the idea of doing everything at once, but countless studies show that multitasking fragments attention and reduces efficiency. The 3-3-3 framework, by contrast, forces you to focus deeply on one category of work at a time. It acknowledges that the brain is not designed to jump continuously between complex tasks. Each of the 3-hour segments becomes a self-contained unit of focus, a clear boundary between different types of thinking. This structure trains your mind to enter flow states faster and remain there longer. Managing time under this model also means managing energy. Not all hours of the day are created equal. The first 3 hours, the deep work block, capitalize on your highest cognitive energy. The middle block, which handles logistical and communication tasks, aligns with your moderate energy phase, when your mind is still sharp but more social. Finally, the last block encourages rejuvenation during your lower energy period, helping you reset for tomorrow. This alignment between task type and energy level is one of the main reasons the 3-to-3-3 rule works so well in practice. You're not just managing hours, you're optimizing your biological rhythms. Another benefit is the psychological relief this rule brings. When you have a clear plan for your day, you no longer feel guilty for not doing everything. Each task has its place, and once you finish one block, you can mentally release it. That separation eliminates the mental clutter of juggling multiple priorities at once. Over time, this builds momentum and self-trust. You know that everything important will be handled at its right time. It also helps you say no to unnecessary commitments. When you already have a structured day, you can evaluate new tasks more rationally, asking, "Does this fit within my priorities?" If not, you can confidently decline or delegate. Moreover, the 3-3-3 system is scalable. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, or executive, it adapts to your environment. You can apply it to a single project, a week's plan, or even your entire career. It teaches you the principle of balance, ensuring that deep creative work is always supported by solid execution and regular renewal. This rhythm builds a powerful sense of momentum. You finish each day not drained but fulfilled, knowing that you've invested your time in the right places. In essence, the time management power of the 3-3-3 rule lies in its simplicity. It cuts through noise and forces clarity. It reminds you that true productivity isn't about how much you do, but how intentionally you do it. Once you experience the focus and calm that come from a well-structured day, you'll never want to return to chaotic multitasking again. Time stops feeling like an enemy to battle and becomes a tool to master, a quiet, reliable ally in the pursuit of meaningful work and lasting success. The final element of the 3-3-3 productivity framework, flexibility, may be its most powerful and overlooked feature. Many productivity systems fail because they demand strict adherence, leaving no room for life's unpredictability. The 3-3-3 rule, however, is built on adaptability. It gives structure without rigidity, direction without confinement. You are not forced into a perfect 3-3-3 schedule every single day. Rather, you are guided by its core principle: balance between focus, function, and restoration. The goal is to help you think deliberately about how to allocate your time and energy, not to imprison you in a rigid formula. This flexibility begins with self-awareness. Every individual's rhythm, responsibilities, and energy levels are different. Some people perform best in the early morning while others are most creative at night. Some may need more deep work time during major projects, while others might require longer periods for collaboration or planning. That's why the rule can and should be adjusted to fit your needs. You might shift to a 4-2-3 pattern when tackling a demanding creative phase, or perhaps a 2-4-3 split during periods that require more communication and coordination. The key is to honor the framework's spirit. Allocate clear, intentional blocks of time to your priorities instead of reacting to chaos. Flexibility also means recognizing that some days will break the pattern entirely, and that's okay. Emergencies, spontaneous opportunities, or periods of rest are all part of a balanced life. The purpose of having a system is not to achieve perfection, but to provide a baseline you can return to. When life disrupts your schedule, you'll have a structure waiting for you, a map that helps you regain focus quickly. Instead of feeling lost, you'll simply reset and realign the next day, avoiding the guilt or confusion that often comes from falling off a strict routine. Another crucial aspect of this adaptability is growth. As your career and life evolve, so too will your priorities. What counts as deep work today may change in the future. The 3-3-3 rule encourages reflection and recalibration. Every few weeks you can reassess. Are your time blocks serving your highest goals? Are they balanced between ambition and well-being? By continually adjusting your structure to match your current reality, you maintain momentum while staying aligned with your deeper purpose. This flexible mindset also extends to how you define success. Some days, completing one essential task in your deep work block may be enough. Other days, progress might come from meaningful collaboration or a breakthrough idea during your reflection time. The point isn't to fill every minute, but to live every hour intentionally. The 3-3-3 framework helps you shift from measuring productivity by sheer activity to measuring it by alignment. How well your actions match your values and objectives. In the end, the 3-3-3 rule is more than a time management system. It's a philosophy of balance and adaptability. It reminds you that productivity isn't about control, but about harmony, between work and rest, between ambition and reflection, between doing and being. The real power of the rule lies not in the numbers, but in the mindset it cultivates. Focus where it matters, execute with clarity, and renew yourself consistently. With that foundation, you gain the freedom to shape each day, not as a race to the finish, but as a rhythm of meaningful progress. Flexibility isn't a weakness in this system. It's what makes it sustainable, human, and enduring. If you found the 3-3-3 productivity rule helpful, don't just stop here. Start applying it today. Remember, 3 hours for your most important work, 3 hours for lighter tasks, and 3 hours to keep everything running smoothly. That's how high achievers manage their time. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more productivity and self-improvement tips every week. Let's make your time truly count.